friends, Jewel back, another super cool astrology video. And I thought we would focus on our Moon through Partners Houses series and start getting those videos going so we can finish that one up and start another super cool series. So, the moon is our instinctual responses, how we respond to life in an emotional way. A lot about the thinking, because our thinking is largely based on our feelings and our intuitions, and that's why we associate the moon with our thinking. It's our inner self, our habitual patterns, and what we go to make ourselves feel taken care of or nurtured, and originally represents the fourth house and the mother. So if you want to think of, what are the things of the moon, think of the fourth house. That'll very much give you an idea of what we're talking about. So when the moon comes into somebody else's third house, the third house is the house of communications, the house of writing, speaking, lower level learning, and daily transit, neighbors, siblings, and very much about how we think in a rational way and how we communicate. So when somebody's moon comes into another partner's or person's third house, they have a very harmonious way of going about their daily lives. What would usually annoy us with somebody else really doesn't with this overlay. They have a real similar style when it comes to how they approach their everyday tasks and their routines. So they, their habits are similar. Their style of living life, on a day-to-day basis is very similar. So the moon person's really fine with how the house person goes about their daily business, what they choose to do on a daily basis, how they choose to spend their time. And their routines are, they match up well. They don't really get in each other's way when it comes to how they function or what they want to do on a day-to-day basis. So where most people would, really irritate us with leaving the cap off the toothpaste or getting up at this time when we get up at that time, those things really don't get in the way when we have this particular overlay. So, the house person feels that part of themselves is very accepted by the moon person. And so this actually creates a real comfortable feeling between two people, on the day-to-day basis. That doesn't mean that everything else is hunky-dory. That, I talk about one thing at a time in these videos, and I don't talk about aspects or anything else. So, you can have just a horrible chart full of terrible, crappy communication and have this overlay, and I'll see your comment at the bottom, that's not true for me. Well, you have to look at everything. This is about one thing. And this one thing in itself tends to be pretty good in a relationship. It is not a romantic linkage. It's not one, like the seventh or the eighth or something like that, where it's, the pole is for bonding. It's more for communication. They learn a lot from each other. And the house person sees the moon person as somebody that they can actually gain a lot of information or learning from. They have a lot of admiration for the way that the moon person thinks and communicates and, the things that they know about. So there's this daily exchange of ideas, daily exchange of communication, and they tend to have a lot of respect for how each other thinks and how each other, communicates. The things of Mercury, how they learn, how they write, things like that. So, it's a really good mental connection where you feel really comfortable with how the other person expresses their mind. So, it's one that lends to good communication, which you need to have in a good relationship. If you don't have good communication, you don't have much. And this one tends to enhance that because there's a lot of chit-chat about the day-to-day. A lot of chit-chat that goes on about what's going on that day or what they're learning that day or things like that. So this is actually a good one too in overlays with parents and children and employees or work relationships. This works really well as well because we meet in a place that is more cerebral. So it tends to be one that we see a lot in working relationships, actually. So I hope you found this informational. I guess that is a word. Mercury is square to Uranus today, so it's a little bit weird when it comes to the thinking and the communication for a lot of us today, actually. Hope this was informative. That is definitely a word. And if you liked it, please subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. It's right there. It's so easy to find. And you can find me on Facebook at Truth in Aspect Astrology, where you should be finding me because I do birthday descriptions, daily astrological weather forecast, lots of articles about all kinds of things astrology related. I also specialize in asteroids and planetoids, so you'll find a lot of information that you won't find anywhere else over there on that type of thing. And yes, I do private consultation. You can find me on the internet at truthinaspectastrology.com, where you can get a hold of me and we will get you figured out. Bye-bye.